Yo, man, welcome back to the channel, man. Y'all know who it is, man. It's your boy, Mickal. That's AK Mr. That Per Boy, man. Today, man, we got the harsh truth about Caitlin Clark. Hey, man, that's what we gotta say, man. Is she overrated, y'all? Do y'all think Caitlin Clark is overrated, or do y'all think she needs like time to adjust to WNBA and get better and figure out how to score more? Like, and do y'all think like she like not like a bad team, but do y'all see how y'all watch her games? Or sometimes like her teammate shoots a shot and they miss it, and then she just throws her arms up like this. Man, I don't know how she do that, but she need to fix that though. Let's get it.
Athletes are good. Some athletes are great, but very rarely does an athlete make such an impact that they begin to transcend their sport. You know, those times where an athlete is creating so much buzz that people who don't even follow the sport know their name. These athletes hardly ever come around, but when they
like she is the one to make the WNBA better and money-wise and get better and all that, for sure.
You know, something special is going on. Growing up, I used to skate, so of course I know who Tony Hawk is. But my mom also knows who Tony Hawk is. In a sport that tends to only retain the most die-hard fans, Usain Bolt was so incredible that he became a household name. And it also helped that his name sounds like he was destined to be the fastest man of all time. Ask the average person to name any golfer, and they'll instantly say Tiger Woods, followed by no one else. There are very few athletes that reach this level of popularity, where they almost single-handedly lift their sport to new heights. And right now, women's basketball is home to an athlete that may just be next in line to be one of these transcendent athletes. Caitlin Clark has only been in the WNBA for one season, and she is already the face of the league, drawing in more fans, viewers, money than ever before. But it hasn't.
I did see that the WNBA is gonna lose about like $50 million, but I think that was before the new TV deal. So the new TV deal, I'm saying they can make more money. The only thing about this, about Caitlin Clark, is her fans like be throwing slurs and racist slurs. That's the thing. Caitlin Clark herself, she loves everybody, but her fans be the one trying to push that agenda, like, and the media too, not even lying.
Come without harsh criticism, some of it targeted at the disproportionate admiration and attention being given to just one player, and some of this criticism claiming she simply isn't nearly as dominant as we are led to believe, a product of the sports media machine pushing their golden child. Is Caitlin Clark really as good as advertised, or have her talents been overblown for the sake of the WNBA and the future of women's basketball?
Bro, what?
And I want to personally thank Caitlin Clark for lifting up our sport.
Bro, what are you talking about?
Today's video is sponsored by DraftKings.
Caitlin Clark singly made, bro, I'm be honest, bro. Caitlin Clark and injuries is the reason why I even watch more WNBA. And the other reason why I even watch college women's basketball last year, like the tournament. Now I'm gonna be watching more college women's basketball because of Judy Watkins and Paige Bergner. You feel me? But Caitlin Clark and injuries is the reason why I was watching like a lot of like WNBA games and literally reacting to them. I'm not even lying.
On April 7th of this year, the women of the NCAA Basketball Championship accomplished something completely unprecedented. Throughout the game, they drew in nearly 19 million viewers, a number that shattered every NCAA women's record, exceeded the viewership of any men's tournament game over the last half-decade, and even surpassed every single NBA Finals game since 2018. The game was a groundbreaking spectacle, with people who had never even tuned into a single basketball game in their life turning on the TVs to see who would be crowned champions. The majority of this flocking attributed to one player, Caitlin Clark. Her unbelievable range and record-breaking performances proving to be must-watch TV. The true testament of her greatness and impact? All of the doubt and borderline detest that quickly followed her ascent. Some fans and players, both past and present, questioning if her talents would translate to the next level and if the horde of fans she inspired would follow. They did. Her WNBA debut attracted the most viewers of any WNBA game in the history of ESPN. Indiana's home game attendance jumped from an average of 4,000 fans last season to an average of over 17,000 fans.
Bro, I'm trying to tell you, she is like, they gotta mark, I'm sorry, she has to be like, they gotta market her with like commercials for the WNBA. Bro, I promise you, when the stuff goes on, come on, y'all gotta. We gotta step back and like Caitlin Clark is not like this. Yes, she's good, but remember, it was her first year in the NBA. It's different, so she'll get better. She just had to adjust to it, and she'll get better. I promise you, she'll get way better. I'll be honest, she is the reason why Indiana Fever games are damn near almost sold out every single game. It's because of her. I mean, not why they want that, because the money coming in. It's like, come on now, bro. Now see, this is a good thing. Why? Because the WNBA is gonna get more revenue to where now. Remember, they already expansion team in Golden State. So remember, they got that team already, meaning where they can expand more to where they don't gotta cut or at least a first round pick. You feel me? So now more players will be on the team. They just need, once they get more teams, it's gonna be better. They got Golden State. They can probably bring one back to Detroit, maybe one in Houston, maybe one in Miami, maybe one in Sacramento. Feel me? Maybe one in Portland. Like where NBA teams at, they can put that in WNBA if it grows more. Feel me? I feel like more NBA teams will probably want to purchase a team or expand it to where, you feel me?
This season, a more than 400% increase in just a single year. Transactions in the Fever's team store jumped over 700%. And
good.
WNBA viewership has skyrocketed to levels that even Clark's biggest advocates could not foresee. Game 4 of last year's WNBA Finals drew in more viewers than any WNBA game over the last 2 decades, with 728,000 fans tuning in for the game, living up to the hype as one of the most anticipated games in the history of the league. This season, there were 22 regular season games that eclipsed that mark, 21 of them drawing in over 1 million viewers. Even crazier, 18.
The Chicago Sky and the Fever games are gonna bring in the most views because the media trying to push this Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese. So of course, those games is always going to be the big-ass skyrocket games every time.
Of those 22 games featured Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. But the most revealing evidence of the now dubbed Caitlin Clark effect is the fact that WNBA viewership has nearly caught up with NBA viewership in 2024. On ESPN, NBA games averaged 1.56 million viewers this past season. WNBA games averaged 1.2 million viewers. A number that was inconceivable just a couple years ago. But Caitlin Clark's soaring popularity has been a point of contention for many fans of the WNBA, frustrated that in a league that is bursting with talent right now, it's all just being overlooked for the poster child of women's basketball. Do Caitlin's ability...
But also, I feel like the WNBA players are not used to like all this media attention to where like they don't know what to do. They're not used to that media attention. If you really think about it, they're not used to it. So when they play bad, you go on social media, the people on Twitter and Instagram, they're talking shit about it. They're not used to that. Feel me? Because nobody was watching the game 2 years ago, 5 years. Nobody's watching it. So they can do what they do, and then nobody's gonna criticize them. Now, it's gonna be even worse when you got Paige and Juju coming to the league. Because Paige is coming to the league next year, so they might try to push that goddamn Caitlin Clark versus Paige shit. I promise you, they might do that. But these players, I feel like they're not used to like all this media attention to where now, like, feel me, like where everybody's watching. And then if they play bad, people are going to talk shit about them. They play good, people are going to praise them. Feel me?
Actually warrant the hype? In just her rookie season, Caitlin broke over a dozen league and franchise records, including the WNBA's single-season assist record. She set the record for the most assists in a single game. She received the most All-Star votes of any player in WNBA history, set a new league record for double-doubles by a guard in a single season, scored the most points of any rookie in league history, and became the first rookie in WNBA history to put up a triple-double. Just this past week, it was announced that Caitlin made first-team All-WNBA, which makes her the first rookie to make first-team All-League since Candace Parker did it 16 years ago.
But then we do notice Candace Parker was the first one to what? So when what is it, Rookie of the Year and MVP of the year.
Those awe-inspiring performances from her days in college did in fact translate to the pros. Because even against the best defense in the world, she is pretty much an offensive cheat code. Throughout her rookie season, with points and assists, Clark generated 45.2% of all points produced by the Indiana Fever. For perspective, she has a larger offensive load than every single player in the NBA last season, outside of Luka Doncic. And she's a rookie. But to really understand Caitlin's unparalleled offensive prowess, here are the 200 most productive offensive seasons in WNBA history on a scale of points generated per game. And among these seasons, you'll find the greatest players in the league's history. Lisa Leslie, Tamika Catchings, Cheryl Swoops, Candace Parker, and Angel McCoughtry have tons of seasons littered throughout this chart. Climb towards the top and you'll find seasons from Asia Wilson and Cynthia Cooper. But with 4 of the top 10 most productive offensive seasons in WNBA history is Diana Taurasi, her 2006 campaign being the best of them all, producing 33.9 points per game. And then there's Caitlin Clark, who is already the most potent offensive player in the history of the
But then, I really also feel like the Indiana Fever, I feel like they rely on Clark so much to like sometimes they lose games. Like, yes, Caitlin Clark is the face of that team. Yes, we do know that, but I feel like they got to find other ways to where it's not always bad. Caitlin Clark, because teams know. Let's say the last shot, they already know it is most likely going to go to Caitlin Clark. So they got to make it like a decoy to where they use maybe a Leo Boston or Mitchell. Depends if they bring back Mitchell. I don't know if Mitchell's going to be signed back to that.
NBA, but, in her rookie season, women's hoops has never seen a player like this. And as absurd as her numbers are, how she puts up these numbers is just as incredible. Here are the players who attempt the longest three-pointers on average in the NBA last season, with Trae Young leading the league with the deepest three-point attempts with an average distance of 27.94 feet, and Damian Lillard and Stephen Curry just a shade closer. Despite it still being worth the same amount of points, the longest shooters in the NBA are stepping 4 feet outside the three-point line on their attempts. But even amongst the deepest shooters in the world, Caitlin Clark is on her own island, because throughout the 2024 regular season, her average three-point distance was 28.1 feet, which is not only further than any player in the NBA and in the WNBA, it is a whopping 6 feet out from the WNBA three-point line. Has Caitlin Clark been worth all the attention and hype that has engulfed her over the last 2 years?
Feet is crazy.
Yeah, I'd say so. She didn't just have a successful rookie season. She had one of the best rookie seasons in recent basketball history. And this isn't just to her benefit, but the benefit of the entire WNBA. Because the seismic boost in the WNBA's popularity this season is not limited to those turning on the games to see what she'll do next. It can also be found in the fans actually showing up to the games. Looking at a chart of the average attendance of WNBA games since the inception of the league in 1997 will tell you a story of a league that has seen their fair share of good days and bad ones. In 1997, there were only 8 WNBA teams, all with really healthy attendance numbers due to the excitement of a new women's league. The league quickly expanded to 16 teams, with a handful of teams emerging as fan favorites.
Now, yes, there are 16 teams, but you need more teams so where the playoffs are bigger. You feel me?
Washington Mystics, the Phoenix Mercury, and the LA Sparks. But with a massive league expansion came a nearly equal retraction. Many teams folding along the way, such as the Soul, Fire, Miracle, and Sting. But it wasn't until COVID where the league's once steady fan base was wiped out. In 2020, there were no fans in attendance due to COVID protocols, and when play resumed in 2021, attendance was at an all-time low, a number that has been quickly rising in the few years since the pandemic, but has specifically seen an explosion this season, where for the first time, league attendance was higher than the WNBA's inaugural season. The Indiana Fever seeing the highest attendance numbers in league history, nearly selling out every single home game. In a league where attracting the
every game is damn near sold out.
Casual fan has been a seemingly insurmountable task, Caitlin Clark has defied the odds by not only drawing in new fans for her and her team, but rising the tides for the entire league. This is completely unprecedented. At least in the WNBA it is. But there was a time when the NBA was facing similar struggles until a pair of players showed up and changed everything.
Larry Bird and Magic. That's what I'm telling you. Caitlin Clark and injuries is dead ass. Larry Bird and Magic Johnson of the WNBA. I promise you right now.
After the success of the Celtics in the 1960s, the NBA's growth in popularity had come to a grinding halt in the 70s. The league had a rampant drug problem. An emerging rival league known as the ABA was picking up steam, and the NBA didn't really have a face to propel the league into the next decade. Jerry West was on his way out. Kareem was incredible, but he didn't really have the personality or charm that fans gravitate towards. Bill Walton's prime was cut short due to injuries, and many fans felt Julius Erving's introduction to the league after leaving the ABA in 1976 was a bit short of what was advertised. Many games were lucky to see even half capacity in attendance. Many teams were losing money. The NBA had fallen to a, quote, second-tier sport behind the NFL, MLB, and NHL. All of this culminating to the point where some networks infamously had NBA Finals games on tape delay in the late 70s due to low ratings. The league was in desperate need of a generational, transcendent superstar. Lucky for them, they got two. Coming off—
Yeah, they was the one that even saved the league. They was the one that saved the league, but Michael Jordan was the one that put the league to the top where now everybody, feel me?
the most popular rivalry in the history of college basketball, Larry Bird and Magic Johnson propelled the league to new heights in the 80s, transforming the NBA from a second-rate league into a behemoth of sports and entertainment. A tandem that many longtime NBA fans say saved the NBA. Now, this isn't to say Caitlin is the second coming of two of the greatest, most important figures in the history of basketball, but her impact on the sport at such an early stage in her career has reached a level reminiscent of some of the most influential athletes of all time relative to their sport. Because her popularity hasn't just affected her, it has had a cascading effect on players across the entire WNBA. Clark has essentially become the gateway to NBA fandom for many people. They come to witness the phenomenon that she is and end up staying once they see just how awesome the league and its players are. Players around the league are signing groundbreaking endorsement deals. Teams now have their own planes and new facilities. Many WNBA players have become household names, some of the most recognizable figures in sports today.
There is now, I think I feel like for WNBA it's gonna be reason. I feel like they might get their own stadium, to where they get their own practice facilities and they're not pricing in college facilities. You feel me? Now, trust me, WNBA is gonna get better where more money will come in, more revenue, new TV deals to where they can put the TV to maybe on NBC or TNT. Like, you never know. There's gonna be more stuff. Plus, also, they can expand to more cities. They can probably put in OKC, Portland. They can probably put one in fucking they already got one in Vegas. They can probably put it in Utah. But come on now, did it? Like, I feel like there's gonna be more teams to where now more players can get drafted. Where for every first round pick, you're not gonna get cut. This and that. Just more money all around for every team, and that's gonna be good for them maybe because now we're watching her, Caitlin Clark, and injuries. The reason why I'm even watching more WNBA games than I ever had. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Real, genuine discourse about the games and the players right now that exists beyond the diehard fans. Conversations about the WNBA are now no longer about the legitimacy of the league itself, but instead about its players, records being broken, rivalries, the playoffs, title hopes, the draft, and up-and-coming prospects. It's understandable that Caitlin's explosion in popularity has caused a lot of tension. Why is she getting all the attention when there's tons of great players around the league doing great things? The answer to that question? Well, it depends on who you ask. But there's no denying the widespread impact Clark has made on the league in just a single season. For years, players in the WNBA pushed for people to give their talents and their skills and the product a chance. And in record numbers, people finally are. Now, what it took to get them to tune in may not be the most ideal circumstance, where for many casual fans, one player is overshadowing the vast majority of an entire league, but it's 1,000 steps in the right direction. Whether the Caitlin Clark effect will have a lasting impact on the league and retain these new viewers and fans and continue to draw in more in the future is something that only time will tell. But one season in, and she is on a path to being one of the very few truly game-changing athletes of her generation. And yes, she's got all the talent to back it up.
Who said? Bro, who said? Who threw that said she doesn't have the talent, bro? What? Bro, she has the talent that she has to get used to. She has to adjust to like the WNBA play and physicality. She'll get there. Feel me? Let me know what you think down below. Like, hey, let me know what you think down below, y'all. Man, we out.